Hey guys, this is Thomas McIntosh with Macintosh Trading, and today I'm just bringing you guys another video. I know it's been a while since even, I guess, before the summer started that I did the last video. So I actually got a professional microphone, so hopefully the audio sounds a little better than previous videos. It should sound way better because I'm not just using my headset, I'm actually using like a microphone that I got on Amazon. It's not like a super nice one, but it should be a little better. So today's video, I've actually been meaning to make for a long time, but I just really haven't had time. And today we're just going to talk about shorting, just kind of the main things that I look for when I'm shorting and what I've found success with. Because I feel like, I mean, in my Discord, we have some pretty good people that short, but I feel like as far as like scalping and stuff, like I just seem to catch them like pretty well. And I'm not like trying to be cocky or anything, but it just feels like I'm really good at like catching them, day trading them, just those quick ones that people seem to like miss, I guess. In our Discord, we kind of do more swings for shorts, like just overnights to make money. But if I can catch like a 5 to 10% move down in seconds, I mean, I'll take that any day. So I'm just going to go over two examples and show kind of why I went for those. And also, I'm going to kind of go over what news I would consider to be like pump and dump news so that you know kind of what news you should be shorting and what news you shouldn't be shorting. All right, so first we're going to take a look at PFMT. This was an okay short today. It didn't make a ton of money. I think I made 2 or 3 thousand, and that was shorting, I think 10 or 12,000 shares both times. I scalped it. So this one was moving up all day. Actually, it had been uptrending all day. Not too much volume. Someone in our Discord pointed it out around here in the 87 to 90 range, and I think at that point it was up 20 or 30%. And for shorting, I usually don't touch it unless it's above like 50%, because then even if it continues to go up, like it's already up 50 to 60%, if it's up on nothing like I presume that it is, there's a good chance it's going to come back down. So this one, it actually ended up getting some heavy volume, and it actually got halted up right here. So I alerted to our Discord. I said, hey, let's market short this one. This will be a solid one. Make sure you have reserves higher. And just so you guys know, Webull is the only platform, I believe, that allows reserve shares. So what that means is you set your short. Say I were to set it at $2, and say I did 1,000 shares at $2. That means if that price ever went up to $2, it would trigger. Now, if you were to try to do that on a different broker, it would just automatically cancel your order. So you would just not get filled, and you wouldn't be able to have those reserves. Now, the reason you do that is because that makes shares available automatically because you have those shares reserved, so no one else can take those from you. And that's going to be a big thing that we also talk about later in this video also. Anyways, so it got halted up here. I alerted to market short it, and I filled about, I think I filled 8,000 or 7,000 shares here at 119. Now, that's a pretty good fill. Normally, you wouldn't get that good of a fill, but I got really lucky. I actually filled right at the top, and as soon as it dropped down here to 103 right away. Now, 119 to 103, that's like what, 15%? And that was in seconds. Like that took literally 1 minute to make 15%. On 8,000 shares, that's pretty dang good. So I actually covered that really early, and it actually started moving up again. And I got a little scared, but the price action just seemed a little heavy here. As you can see, it dipped right after it did that, and then it went up again. So once it went up again on this candle, I'll kind of zoom in. So after this dip, it went right back up. This is something I look for also. It popped off the ADMA here on the 1 minute, but that doesn't always mean that it's going to continue strength. That could just be like a little bounce. Same with the VWAP. That can just be a little bounce as well. Sometimes it'll just bounce just a teeny bit and then continue back down. But since I did see that pop, it came back down and then it popped again. I decided to actually go in with 12,000 shares here. And then it proceeded to just continue downtrending. It bounced off the VWAP. I didn't cover quite yet. I waited because I didn't quite think that this was actually going to keep going up. I just thought this was a slight bounce off the VWAP, and it turned out to actually keep going down, and then I got to cover right here in the 93 to 94 range. And then after that, it kind of kept going. Now this stock is still up 60%. So in reality, I could have probably swung this into tomorrow and made more money. When you zoom out into the daily chart, it had heavy volume and just kind of pumped. And I'm surprised that there was so many shares available when it was up that high, because normally there's just not shares, but there was just no pumpers. There was no one really looking at this one. It was just a quiet play that no one had really seen. And the only reason it was up was this article here, which I'll actually move over to the screen here. This little article, he basically just says, Performant has a long history of declining revenue and losses, has been left for dead by investors. However, hidden inside until now is a rapid growth healthcare auditing and claims eligibility review business that has reached scale. Now this is just one person's opinion, and how that moved the stock up this much, I will never know. But anytime it's one analyst's opinion that shoots a stock up this much, that's an automatic short for me. PT upgrades on stocks, when pumpers try to use that as a way to get a stock moving up, I just completely ignore it, and I don't even try to play that stock long. I'm always going to just wait till it pops a little bit and short it. I don't care if they get a little bit of money out of it. I'm just always going to short this. So this was just kind of the perfect short idea. Like I said, it didn't make like a crazy amount of money, but it made a solid 15% super quick. Cover, redo it again, and then it just banked down here also. I believe 110 was what I filled at, so I didn't even catch the top, but I got pretty close. 110 to 94, which that's another 15 to 20% again. And it just didn't take a lot of effort. It was just really easy to capture that move. And then after this, I didn't really care. I actually should have done this right before close, 109, because tomorrow it's probably going to crash back to the 90s, 80s. So I should have done that, but I missed out on that. Next up, we're going to talk about AHT. Now this one was just absolute bank. Someone in my Discord actually called this one out too. So the way our Discord kind of works is people will just call out random tickers, and we're just all looking at them together. We just decide what we're going to short, what we're going to long. The scanner will call out stuff. That's how I find most of my stuff. But if someone in my Discord calls out a stock, I mean, I'll go take a look at it. I mean, I'm always sifting through charts. Now this one, I did wait on this one. I don't think I caught this move. I might have caught this move. I can't quite remember, but I remember this one was like 4 or 5 grand here that I made on this one. I'm trying to remember exactly what the trade was, but as you can see here, it popped. I want to see if there was news. I don't think there was. Yeah, it looks like they had a little bit of news, but I'm not sure if it was anything big. Yeah, I don't know. This news doesn't look like anything big, and it didn't really seem to move until later in the day. So, and that was, I guess maybe that was from there. Anyways, that's not the important part. So essentially, I just kind of waited for it. It kept getting heavy volume. I didn't add on this one, I don't believe. Even if you had, it doesn't really matter. Okay, now that I do remember, I actually did add. I think I added right 260, and it came down instantly. And I didn't cover down here, I don't think. I think I waited, and then we actually alerted to average up. I had just continued moving my reserves up like I talked about before. So I had a pretty solid average, about 270, 265 or something like that. And then as soon as it hit up here, it just instantly was hit by sellers. And a lot of times with these pump and dumps, I mean, you're gonna get a big move, but once that big move hits, it's just gonna come straight back down. Because once the pumper or whoever was on it takes profits, it's just time to get out. Now this one did have a slight VWAP bounce like I was talking about on PFMT, but instead this one just continued to crash, and once it's below the VWAP like this and continues falling, you're usually safe to hold that if you want to just keep making money. I believe I covered right around here, 213, somewhere around there. Whereas if I would have waited till later in the day, I could have covered at 183 or somewhere around there. But I just kind of wanted the buying power. Like I said, I'm just looking to capture like a short-term move. But this one was just absolute bank, 270 to under 2 or around 2. So that's like 70 cents. That's what, 30-40% on one move. And I took a lot of shares on this one too. So it was just an overall pretty solid day from both of these plays. So I guess I really haven't shown what exactly I look for, but I kind of want to get into that. So when I'm looking to short a stock, I kind of look at the daily chart. And on this one, kind of what I saw was just kind of like a dead cat bounce. This had some slight accumulation here. There was probably some people calling it down here saying, oh, it's bottomed out. And usually when you're playing bottom plays, you're going to get one day where it's green. But a lot of times with penny stocks, that's not going to continue. Like, you're not going to see this chart just completely start going up. You're going to see one pump, and if it's a big pump like this where you get lots of movement, it's likely going to come back down, and then this will probably crash under 135. So after I look at the daily chart and just kind of see what we're working with, then I go into the 1 minute. I generally use the 1 minute. Sometimes I'll use the 5 minute. So on the 1 minute, I just kind of look for just these really big pumps. And like I said, I like to find stuff that's up over 50%. If it's up over 50% for nothing, I wait for 1 or 2 big green candles, and then I just try to catch the top of that candle. And usually when you market short when it's up there, you can actually be someone who causes the stock to actually stop that momentum, because once sellers move into the market, it just brings on more sellers because they're scared to lose that profit. They don't want the stock to crash on them, so they take their profits and leave. So as a short, if you're shorting the top of this green candle, you're not always going to be successful. Sometimes you will get caught in stuff and have to wait, but that's just part of shorting. And I do want to go over some of those plays, just kind of what to do in those situations. But that's just kind of another thing I look for. And I gave an example of news that I like to short. There is other news. Some news that I don't like to short is news on like big contracts for stocks. A lot of times that will just cause them to really run. Gevo earlier had this huge contract that caused them to run from 58 cents to 218. If you could have had reserves up here, it would have been a good short. But for me personally, I wouldn't have been willing to shorten here, live through this pump, and then wait like all this time until I made a solid profit. So that would be something that I would kind of stay away from. Another thing I like to stay away from is like positive data on trials. Our short team actually shorted Sava here. They shorted, I don't want to tell you when they shorted. They started shorting in the 4s, like right here, I think. It was gapping up in after hours, and then they had positive data, and it just continued to run on them. And I think some of them covered now. Some of them are still holding like a 200% bag, just trying to average up whenever they can. But that's the kind of stuff I stay away from, especially when I know that insiders have been buying. Like here, they just continue to buy. Whenever a stock like is a strong stock like this, you just stay away from it. And you'll notice with some charts that you should just stay away from it as well. I guess I can try to find another example. I am going to be actually looking to short Craig here soon if we can get some shares. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to show a short that I'm also looking for tomorrow for you guys, because I know it's going to get pumped tomorrow. And at the close, there was shares available. I should have actually reserved some, but I didn't. All right, so this isn't actually an example of anything I would ever short. This is ZSAN. They actually have FDA approval in October, but this is just kind of an example of a chart that I would just avoid shorting. It's not at the bottom. It's not bouncing off the bottom. It doesn't have news, but like on a solid green day here, like the chart's overall trend is up. And usually when the chart's overall trend is up, I just stay away from it. If it's bouncing like one day on the chart, then I don't mind shorting it. But if the overall trend is up, I just stay away from it because it's just not worth it at that point. Like right here, the overall trend is still down. Now this did have one green candle, but just one green candle doesn't mean that the overall shift has started to moving up. So you'd have to wait for that to develop to see if that's something that you wouldn't want to short. But I took the risk and I shorted it, and it turned out to work. Same goes here. The overall trend is just sideways. This is a thinly traded stock, which is another reason why I shorted it, because there's just no reason for it to be up this much today off of one analyst's opinion. This will probably come crashing down to 80 soon, and then 70. So if you guys want to try to find shares on that, you probably can. It might get pumped a little bit tomorrow, who knows. So anyways, I guess to end this video, I will just kind of show you guys one short that I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. This just hit 90 cents here in after hours. I think it touched a little higher. I'm going to be looking to short it once it gets to around 1. That's actually where I should have put my reserves. I'm not going to wake up early to do that. But when I wake up at my normal time tomorrow, I'm going to see kind of what it's doing in pre-market, and I will likely take a short position in pre-market, or maybe a little bit after the market opens. Just kind of depends how much it gets pumped. Ultra's room has been on it, and it's just been getting a little ridiculous. So I kind of want to show you guys one last thing. I know I'm just kind of rambling on, and this is very informal, I guess, but I just kind of want to show you guys examples of stuff that you should be shorting. And if you go onto here, StockTwits, that's where I meet most of you guys. If you see people like Captain, Cam the Man is a pumper, but you kind of have to wait on his stuff. He has a large following, and he is a solid trader, so I don't try to short all of his stuff. A lot of times there's not shares available anyways, so I just kind of avoid it. This guy is a pumper. If you find him, you can pump some of his stuff. If you see a stock with no news that has these pumpers, if you just wait for it to go 20, 30, 40, 50%, that's generally a good time to short it. Don't try to short it right away, because even if it's taking some time, they will generally be able to get buyers to come in. They know what they're doing. They put the capital in, they wait, they continue to post and post and post and post until they finally get the move that they want. They sell, leave everyone at the bag, and then you short, and you just wait for the others to sell, and then the price usually goes lower than what it actually started at, because people just start to panic sell because, oh, I missed my sell, now I just better get out because it's never going to go up again. So that kind of makes it a little easier. But anyways, I know this was a longer video. I feel like I have a lot more to say about shorting, but it just kind of takes practice, learning to catch those tops. But that's just kind of the little things I look for. If it bounces off the ADMA, like I said, right here it bounced off the ADMA, continued strength. Right here it didn't bounce, so I knew it was done. I filled more reserves, and then it bounced off the VWAP, and then it bounced and came right below that. It's just little things like that, which you'll learn. You'll have your own indicators. They don't all have to be like mine. I use the AEMA and the VWAP, and sometimes I use Bollinger Bands. I had those up. For some reason, Webull always takes them away. But those are the things I look for, and I hope this helps you guys short, helps you feel a little safer shorting. It gets a little scary. One I got caught in recently was HX. I guess not recently, but earlier in the summer I got caught in this one. I think I shorted this one I shorted it at 2 or 3. I think it was around, I can't remember. It was like, it might have been 3 or 4. I shorted it somewhere up here and it got pumped, and I was actually down over 100%, and I had like 15 grand in there. So I was down about 15 grand, because you can actually lose more than your position if you can go negative 100% and more. So it went to 744. I wasn't stressing about it at all. It was literally just pumpers. I'm trying to remember what even the news was. It was something about online sales or something like that. I wish I could find it, because it was just absolute pump and dump news. So they updated their app. And updating their app apparently makes them go from 2 to 744. I'm not completely sure how that works, but it was just a perfect time to short, because it was just ridiculous that they were priced that high. So I just got in a little early, but as long as you wait, if you know what the news is and that it's trash, if you wait till the next day, it came down from 744 to 480 overnight, from after hours to pre-market, and then it just crashed from there on. and I ended up making like 5 or 10 grand. I can't quite remember. But I went from this huge bag just to big green just because I was confident in the news. I didn't have to set a stop loss on this one because I knew the news was trash. So I just waited on it and ended up making money. Anyways, this video has been way too long, so I feel bad for talking to you guys so long. I might make a part 2 on how to short, but I just kind of wanted to give the basics, give what I look for, and I hope to continue making videos for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy them, and I hope you enjoy my new microphone. Tomorrow I will be streaming again. I might do some pre-market action, might do some market open action, might do some after hours action, not quite sure. I think I'm going fishing actually tomorrow after hours, so I'm not sure I'll be able to do that. But anyways, I will let you guys go. If you guys do like this video, make sure to subscribe and tell your friends. And if you guys are interested in joining our Discord, it's macintosh-trading.com. I'll also leave that in the description. Thank you for watching, guys. See you guys next time.